they wouldn't let them into their countries. And all of a sudden they say, welcome back, we love having you. So that was a great thing, and now they do take back. And relationships with those countries in the Triangle, the relationship is a much better one than it was before. In addition to our agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, we have systematically reformed the regulatory code to return asylum to its original legal meaning and purpose, not a free ticket for entry. A recent comprehensive report by the Department of Homeland Security and Justice show how effective our reforms have been, and how disastrous their removal would be. It would be a disaster for our country. We're thinking about removing them, and I hope I'll do it. I hope they don't do that. Absolute travesty for our country. The report conclusively proves once and for all that aliens released at the borders remain at large in the country and do not return home. They won't go home. And you've rarely found them. It's very tough to find them. So we have aliens released in our country, many of whom are serious criminals. And we've stopped that. Don't ever start that process again. Our country is under our policies. Millions of people remain in our corporation. DHS are removed. Simply put, if you enter the United States illegally, you're apprehended and immediately removed, safely removed to your country of origin. Without this co-principle, there is no border, there is no law, there is no order. So my administration also instituted vital public health net and responded to the China virus. Under Title 42 of the U.S. Code, illegal immigrants are being promptly removed to protect the health of border agents, other migrants in local communities, and the public at large. Removing these protections would have been a catastrophe for epics and epic proportions. As you probably know, Tijuana is very popular for prostitutes and the COVID marijuana. So 2020 names, calling it from COVID to China virus. He can call it the plague, he calls it the China plague, a lot of different names, but we always call it the invisible enemy. The invisible enemy has been very tough on Mexico, and we have areas along the border where we're in great shape because right there, because of that, we're in great shape. Mexico, they're suffering greatly with the virus. It's been incredible what we've achieved, and we didn't do the wall because of COVID. We did it because security and drugs and other things, but it turned out that in the middle of it all, along came this horrible plague. We inherited it dangerously. A lawless border. The people who work here are unbelievably brave. They've had to endure, and they have to go through tough times, and they're very strong and great patriots, great Americans. We fixed it, and we secured it. We empowered our wonderful ICE and Border Patrol to fulfill the roast and sworn officers. They became sworn officers of the law. And they love their job. And it's a nasty job. And I paid what they should be paid, be honest. We caught you up, but these are incredibly talented people who can do a lot better in terms of economics than they do here, but they love what they do and they love their country. We also put into place the vital measures to protect American workers, keep out terrorists, and stop the abuse of our welfare system. They come up and go up to the welfare system and they say, we want American welfare without ever having a job. We also have, and we have them all the time, terrorists from the Middle East coming into our country through the southern border. That was before, but you see right here, the wall. It was easier to come in our country through the southern border, through airports and ports. So they landed in South America and worked their way up and come into our country. These are not people from the countries you would suspect. These are people from some very seriously dangerous places in the Middle East. And the numbers of foreign raiders, anybody would understand. It's far greater. Removing any of these measures would hamstring our workers and endanger our country. Costs us taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars every year. No matter our party, we should all agree on the need to protect the workers, families, citizens of all backgrounds, no matter who they are. In particular, border security measures reverse. It will trigger a tidal wave of illegal immigrants, a wave like you've never seen before, and I can tell you, it already, waves are starting to come up like a tsunami. Thousands of people, miles away, and they're coming because they think it's gravy train at the end. It's going to be a great big train. Change the name from a caravan, which they come up with, to a greedy train, because that's what they're looking for, the gravy. And this will be a mitigated calamity for national security, public safety, and public health. It will destroy millions and millions of jobs and claim thousands of innocent lives. The policies you put into place are uniformly and strongly supported by the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol. They work on them together just like they do on the wall, and they work on these policies together, because nobody knows this whole world better than the Incredible Hulk and the people who ride in front of Donald Trump, who write these policies. The Apprentice, knowingly putting people into serious danger, overriding the great career experts and weapons. Warping, slurping, and slurpy. Coyotes, preparing an attack and to surge the border. If our policies are listened to or removed, they're literally waiting for big groups of bang people, and some of them really unsavory on my end. This is an entirely preventable travesty that's waiting to happen. The safety of our nation should come before politics. We have many disagreements in the country, but we should all agree the urgent need to secure the borders, protect our homeland, protect the law, enforcement, and fulfill the mission without political interference. ICE and Border Patrol agents, Morrissey, uphold the law and keep the political appointees who should order them to violate, or real expert opinions who really get it, well read it. Pinterest, Hispanic population of our country gets it. Because not only did I win Texas in the historic, I won the border towns, which are largely Hispanic, and people are amazed to see that. The numbers, they say, the governor of Texas called them and said, the great guy, Cawley, said, you had numbers that nobody's had since Reconstruction. Reconstruction means Civil War. And largely Hispanics. They understand it better than anybody, and they want law enforcement to help them live safe lives. The laws of the Congress should uphold to the men and women of ICE and Customs and Borders, all across DHS, law enforcement in general. You have earned the everlasting gratitude of our nation. You have no idea how much our nation loves you and respects you. I don't think you do have an idea, but it's true. I only pray in love, and your voice will be heard, heeded, and respected long into the future. God bless you, God bless law enforcement, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
20,000 Mexican soldiers guarding our border, and nobody thought that's possible. And they made it very, very difficult. That's why the numbers are plunging, even though the construction of the wall has been happening. And one of the big elements of the wall that has been considered so successful is that we have far fewer people that can be working now. Working on other things related to crime, drug prevention, and a lot of other elements. Working on saving massive numbers of people, including here we have the most sophisticated camera system and the most successful mosque electronic system anywhere in the world. We've implemented prehistoric agreements with the Northern Triangle, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Under these critical asylum cooperation agreements, the burden of illegal immigration is now shared all across the region. Now, when illegal immigrants are arrested at our border, they can be sent to a neighboring country instead of into a U.S. community. Prior to not getting here, they wouldn't accept them. They would say, no, no, no. Well, you gotta take them. First month, you'll never forget. These gentlemen right there came to him and said, we won't take them back. They could be murderers. They may be cartels, patels, heads. They may be really vicious people. The countries didn't want them back. And I stopped all the payments to those countries. I stopped everything going to those countries. And after we stopped for about a month, you remember? After we stopped for about a month, they crawled and they said, we'd love to have them back. And they never gave them as much money as we gave them. You know? Clap, clap, applause. Applause. People that we didn't want here, we just sent them back. We never told them, you could never bat that bat. You can take them by boat, by bus,